While my day job is fun, rewarding and challenging, I also write for a blog called Pipeburn, and that's how I ended up at the Australian launch of the new Triumph T100. I liked it, but I wanted to ride it more, so I did the professional thing and waited until the marketing manager got really drunk and asked to borrow a bike, and he said yes. Which surprised me as I owned the old Bonneville and didn't really like it, and I was more than a little bit vocal about it. When presented with its many shortcomings, owners mostly had one excuse. But the new T100 is a completely redesigned bike. See how different it looks. So is it as much of a misstep as the last model, or is it worthy of the praise that people will inevitably heap on it, no matter what it's actually like? Well, I've been riding it for a few months now, and I've got a few thoughts and narcissistic personality disorder, so I'm going to share it with you. The thoughts, not the narcissistic personality disorder. Actually, a disclaimer. Triumph have lent me a bike for 2 months to do this review. On the launch, they paid for my food and booze and gave me this t-shirt, which I'll cherish forever. This makes me a motorcycle journalist, so I'm going to do the whole thing like a typical motorcycle review. Bring on the footage. Music to ruin the engine noise. Dull, meaningless commentary.
This year's T100 is 3mm shorter than last year.
All the hyperbole.
It's the best Bonneville. Should buy one. Should buy two. You should.
Nah, fuck it. I'm just going to be a bastard. The T100 sits below the full-blooded T120 in the new retro classic lineup. It comes in blue and white, orange and white, gloss black, and good luck keeping me clean. And it's powered by a new water-cooled 900cc twin engine. Triumph call it high torque, probably because low power wouldn't make it past the focus group stage. And it is downs on horses over the previous model, which the collective intelligence of the internet will be quick to point out. But to me it feels faster. While it misses out on outright horsepower, it's now got considerably more torque. That power is down low, and anything past 5,000 RPM has you just making noise without much forward movement. Triumph say it's got a lot more personality, and yeah, it's got more personality than the old one, but that's like saying the new Coldplay rocks harder than ever before. But it does have a little pickup. And it's helped along by the note of the exhaust. Really, this is what they sound like. And that's stock. But while riding, you won't hear the exhaust noise. It disappears behind you. Like your problems if you buy a Bonneville T100. Whoa, back to journo mode there. The 5-speed gearbox is beautifully light and slick and has no false neutrals. The gearing is off though. First gear is far too tall, and you can use it for anything up to 50 k's an hour pretty comfortably. Despite what the internet is saying, I think the engine is significantly better than the old one. I find it quicker than the old bike in most real-world situations, and due to the 270-degree firing order, it just feels more fun. It's also ride-by-wire, and astonishingly, it's free of throttle snatch. Praise Jesus, Buddha, and Allah. It's one of the very, very few EFI bikes in the market that when you lay on the gas, doesn't try and jerk you off. Guys, come on. Compared to the older model, the new Bonneville also feels very different when you hit some twisties. It's not earth-shattering. Handling is best described as completely neutral and difficult to talk about in an interesting way. It holds a corner well, it feels light, and it's a relaxing little city commuter. And it does hold up longer and faster through a set of corners than you'd expect. But the shocks are actually, they're much better too. It could do with an upgrade, but these aren't made out of melted down bobby pins like the old ones were. The brakes are still just okay. They lack in feedback and initial bite, but they're okay. It is now fitted with electronic stability control and ABS, which is good, but it's not switchable, which is bloody annoying if you're planning on riding on dirt. In Australia, some of the best roads are at the end of, bookended by, or just have dirt running right through the guts of them. You can switch it off on the Thruxton, so why not this? So riding the bike around for a few months had me not feeling underwhelmed, but relatively whelmed. And things improve even more when you take a moment out of your day to take a good long look at the bike. The more time I spent staring at it, the more it made sense, like a magic eye puzzle or Cameron Diaz's face. Because there's some really well thought out little touches on the bike. Firstly, the water cooling system. The filler cap is located down here and has all that coolant hidden away under the bike. The radiator is nicely unobstructive. The exhaust looked like a single piece because of a cosmetic shroud that covers up all the piping. And the bash plate looking thing is the cat. The lambda sensors are neatly hidden away, and the tail light no longer looks like a spaceship. There's no casting marks on the front hub or the very 60s looking rear conical hub. The fuel tank is hand pinstriped and has a nice depth to it. It's even signed by the painter. It's just a nicely presented machine that looks far more tidy and finished than the outgoing model. And it's better appointed too. The ignition is in the right spot now. It's got a locking fuel cap, easy seat removal. It's got under-seat storage. Oh, no it doesn't. It doesn't have tie-down points, a helmet lock, or a centre stand. But it does have a toolkit. Oh. But you know what does have many of those features? The T100's big brother, the T120. For just a few thousand more, you get an extra disc, 300 more cc's, grab rail, centre stand, and a sense of superiority. On paper, it's a simple choice. You just go for the big one. But in the real world, it's harder to say. It weighs 25 kilos more, but it feels like 50. It's slower to turn in, and it definitely doesn't handle as well. The fuel injection is shit too, it's just really choppy. But that extra poke can't be understated. But this one, the little baby T100, would be my pick if you had to ride it every day, if you're of slighter build or you were new to motorcycling. It's noticeably more pleasant to ride, if not as exciting. Now, I haven't been balls deep in the engine like some other bikes I've reviewed. I haven't tried to modify anything and I haven't done a million kilometres on it. But at this early stage, compared to the old model, the new T100 has a more interesting engine, it handles better, is more fuel efficient, has longer service intervals and is infinitely better built. No longer does it have to rely on its name to sell. It's a fantastically finished, well-made motorcycle that's overwhelmingly pleasant to ride, which is the exact opposite of the bike I'll be reviewing next.